Hi guys, and welcome back to PAPI English. My name is Sam and I'm an English teacher who loves travel, culture and languages. Today I'm in Cusco, Peru, and we're going to answer the big question: who were the Incas? To find the answer, I'm going to take you to different places here in Cusco and all the way to Machu Picchu. And of course, I'm going to teach you English along the way. The Inca world. The Incas were one of the most powerful civilizations in South America. At its height, the Inca Empire stretched from modern-day Colombia all the way to Chile. At its height means at its most successful or most powerful time. At its height, the Inca Empire ruled millions of people across the Andes. Cusco was the capital of the empire, the political, religious and cultural center. Everything led back to this city. One of the reasons this was possible was because the Incas built an empire of roads. They built roads covering an area of over 40,000 kilometers. This road system held the empire together. This means it helped the Incas remain united, and all of the roads led back to Cusco, the center of the empire, and in particular to somewhere very special for the Incas, Coricancha, the temple of the sun. The sun, known as Inti, was the most important god in the Inca religion. The Incas believed the sun wasn't only their god, but also their ancestor. They believed the leader of their empire was the child of the sun. The first Inca emperor was Manco Capac, sent by the Inca sun god Inti to begin the Inca Empire. That's why here in Cusco the Incas built these amazing places like Coricancha and here the fortress of Sacsayhuaman. They also created something incredible: perfect stone walls built without cement, which still stand today. The Incas were master builders. They cut the stones so perfectly that they didn't need cement. They fit like a glove. That means they fit perfectly. The stones would connect together like Lego, making them extremely strong and resistant to earthquakes. Some of the best preserved walls we find in Cusco were actually built by the Incas, and in fact they look much newer than walls built hundreds of years afterwards. But there is something even more incredible about how the Incas built the city of Cusco. They designed it in the shape of a puma. From above, Cusco looks like this powerful animal, with the fortress of Sacsayhuaman forming the head. This shows that the Incas weren't just builders, they were thinking outside of the box. They thought in a creative and unusual way. The puma was a sacred animal for the Incas. It symbolized strength, protection, and power, and it was connected to the world of the living. By shaping their capital like a puma, the Incas believed they were protecting their city and giving it strength. The puma was one of the most powerful animals for the Incas, but there were other animals that played an important role in their daily lives. And of course we can't forget the llamas and alpacas. For the Incas, these animals were worth their weight in gold. They were very valuable. Llamas were used to carry goods across the mountains, while alpacas provided warm wool for clothing. They gave the Incas food, clothes and transport, helping the Inca civilization survive and grow across the Andes. Alpacas and llamas were worth their weight in gold, but gold itself was also very important to the Incas, not as money, but as something sacred. They believed gold came from the sun god Inti, so it was used to decorate temples and important buildings. One of the incredible things about the Inca Empire is that they ruled through community and not through money. In fact, the Inca Empire didn't use money. Everyone had to work and contribute. Everyone had to pull their weight. If you pull your weight, it means you work and contribute towards something. Can you imagine having to work without money? In Inca society, everyone had a role to play. People gave food, clothes, or labor to the state instead of money, working for the common good by farming, building roads, and serving the community. The Incas stored their resources in huge warehouses and shared them during hard times. By sharing the load, they were able to create a society which was stable, resilient, and able to thrive. Even without a traditional writing system, the Incas managed their empire with great skill. They used quipus, knotted cords, to record information such as supplies, labor, and population. This allowed them to organize resources across long distances. Thanks to careful planning and teamwork, the Incas were able to keep everything running like clockwork, proving that strong organization doesn't always depend on the written word. Symbols were also very important in Inca culture. Instead of letters, the Incas used images to share ideas about life, nature, and power. The most important symbols to the Incas were the condor, the puma, and the snake, representing the sky, the earth, and the underworld. These symbols could be found in Incan architecture. They helped people understand the world around them and reminded them that everything was connected. They could read between the lines. They could understand a deeper meaning, not just what you see. They really could read between the lines of nature. Before we go on, we should answer the question, what happened to the Incas? Well, in the 1500s, the Spanish arrived in ships bringing weapons and disease. In fact, it was this disease that had the biggest impact on the Incas. The Inca Empire collapsed in a few decades, and many of the buildings that you can see around me are coming from the Spanish colonial period. When the Spanish arrived in Peru, they destroyed many Inca buildings or built their own churches and palaces on top of them. The Spanish melted down Inca gold objects and statues to make coins and send the wealth back to Spain. The Inca Empire may have been destroyed, but the Inca culture did not disappear. It still survives today in the language, the traditions, and the people of the Andes. One of the strongest examples is Quechua, the language of the Incas. Today, hundreds of thousands of people still speak Quechua in the Cusco region, and millions of people speak it across the Andes. It is special because it is closely connected to nature, community, and daily life, with many words describing relationships, land, and cooperation. Thanks to this living language, the Inca culture has stood the test of time, remaining an important part of life. Inca culture also lives on through food. Many of the foods first grown by the Incas are still eaten in the Andes today. Potatoes are the most famous example, with thousands of varieties originating from this region. The Incas also ate maize, quinoa, and beans, which remain important parts of the local diet. These foods are well suited to the mountains and show the Incas' deep understanding of the land. Through these traditional foods, Inca knowledge has been passed down from generation to generation, keeping the Inca culture alive on the table as well as in history. If there is one lesson we should learn from the Incas, it is how to live in balance with nature. There is no place that represents this idea better than the historic sanctuary of Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is one of the most impressive places the Incas ever built. High in the Andes Mountains, it was carefully designed to work in harmony with nature. One of its most important features is the terraces. These wide stone steps were built into the mountainside and used for farming. The terraces helped prevent landslides, controlled water, and allowed crops to grow at high altitude. This shows how the Incas really knew the land like the back of their hand. They knew the lands and how to use them extremely well. Machu Picchu was also special because of its location. Surrounded by mountains and jungle, made it hard to reach. For centuries, the city remained under the radar. Untouched by the Spanish conquistadors, it wasn't noticed or discovered. In 1911, the American explorer Hiram Bingham brought Machu Picchu to the attention of the outside world. Even today, Machu Picchu continues to amaze visitors. Every stone, terrace, and pathway shows how the Incas thought ahead and worked together. Machu Picchu stands as a powerful symbol of Inca knowledge, the balance of nature and teamwork, making it truly a special place. So who were the Incas? They were the rulers of a vast mountain empire, masters of stone and sky, who built their cities among the clouds of the Andes. So guys, if you want to learn more English and learn about the Incas, make sure you join the PAPI English YouTube membership. Members get access to more materials and more resources to continue their learning. For example, with this video, there's an idioms study guide, so you can practice the idioms you learned in this video with extra exercises and activities. There is also a use of English reading task, so you can practice your English whilst learning about
how Machu Picchu was discovered, and there's also a listening podcast about more mysteries surrounding the world of the Incas. You can practice your listening comprehension, answering questions about the podcast in an FCE style. So join the membership to continue learning, and let me know if you like this video. Give it a like, give a comment as well. Tell me what kind of video you'd like me to make in the future, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.